Okay, so number 4. So we need to find G2. So that means substituting the value of 2 into the expression for G. So G2 is just going to be 4 times 2, which hopefully you'll find with is 8. FOGX. So we're putting G into the function for X. So instead of FOGX, instead of 8x plus 3, we're going to write 8 times 4x plus 3, which is 4 8 32x plus 3. F to minus 1x, so we're finding the inverse of f, so 8x plus 3. So if we want y equals 8x plus 3, switch the x and the y, and rearrange to get make y the subject. So subtract 3 from both sides and then divide by 8. So f minus 1x is x minus 3 over 8. Next question. So the Venn diagram shows events A and B where P of A is 0.4, PA union B is 0.8, and PA intersection B is 0.1. So that means if I was to use this as an aid, I'd be able to say that the intersection here is 0.1, so that goes in the middle. I know that PA is 0.4, so the whole of the probability of A is the whole of this circle here, which means that this value here must be 0.3. A union B is 0.8, which means that this plus this has to come to 0.8, which means that this would be 0.4. Okay, so write down the value of Q. We've done that just by looking up there, so 0.1. The value of P was 0.3. The value of PB would be 0.5. Interesting the way I've done that, so I wonder how many marks you would get without showing working. I guess I need to double check the mark scheme to let you know that. But let's move on. Number 6, 3 sine pi over 2x. What's the amplitude? So the amplitude is always given by the value at the front, so the amplitude is 3. The period is always affected by this value here, so the period would be 2 pi. Note, I know it's in pi because of the values that we've got, so it's 2 pi divided by pi over 2. 2 pi multiplied by 2 over pi, because we multiply by the reciprocal, so it's 4 pi over pi. The pi's cancel, so it's just 4. Okay, so perhaps I did it too quickly, so it's 2 pi over 1. So our period is 4. Funnily enough, they also want to sketch it between 0 and 4, which also makes sense, really. They've labelled these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know we're going to show one complete cycle because we knew that our period was 4. We know our amplitude is 3, so our maximum value is going to be 3. Our minimum is going to be -3. It is a sine curve. So we know it starts at 0. There is no horizontal shift, so we know it starts here. They've kindly split it up into 4 portions. We're used to 90, 180, 270, 360, but instead we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. But we're going to follow the same pattern as we would have done had it been 90, 180, 270, 360. So there is our answer there. Number 7. Events A and B are independent. So A intersection B is 2. A complement intersect B is 0.6. Find PB. Okay, so if they are independent, we know the intersection, we want to find PB. might sketch myself a Venn diagram actually. I know the intersection, well done. So this is A and B is 0.2. I know that the intersection of the complement of A with B is 0.6. So the complement of A with B would be 0.6 here, which means that the probability of B is this whole section here, which means the probability of B is 0.8. For part B, A union B. So we know, all right, so because we know it's independent, we know that the probability, so let's just remind ourselves from the formula book to where I took to 4. So for independent events, the intersection is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. So we know, so A intersection B is PA PB. So we know that 0.2 is equal to a probability of A multiplied by 0.8. We've just found that out. So the probability of A is 0.2 divided by 0.8, which is 1/4. Would you have been happy doing that? So basically I've ignored the 0.2, I've just taken it as 2 over 8, and that simplifies to be 1/4, which is obviously also 0.25. You have to do this out of a calculator, so I hope you're okay with that. So we know that the probability of A completely is 0.25, which means if we're going to put that into our Venn diagram, this part here was 0.2, so this is 0.05. So our probability of A union B is going to be 0.05 plus 0.2 plus 0.6, which is 0.8.